Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the DC Comics Multiverse Batman v Superman. Not only are you getting the Kryptonian here, but you also get a collect and connect piece to build a grapnel blaster replica, which is kind of interesting that this is one of the few times where we get a collect and connect piece that isn't building an actual character. Down below we've got a picture of Superman. I'm a little not sure as to why Batman versus Superman, they're using these weird filtered images of the characters as opposed to just, it kind of looks like it's more painted, but it's, I don't know, just kind of weird. So far, they have released four figures now, and they're releasing the other four figures to give us the entire grapnel blaster replica. In fact, so that we have a better idea, yeah, 8 pieces. 8 pieces, so 1 to 4, consisting of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Armored Batman, will only really give you like the display stand and handle, and then the main meat and potatoes are going to come with figures 5 to 8, which are coming soon. Contents, 1 figure, which I guess is not really 100% true because it's 1 figure and then you're going to, of course, get the piece for the grapnel blaster. DC Comics Multiverse figures are inspired by comic-based, character-rich entertainment sources such as movies and video games. These figures are meticulously designed to be truly authentic, celebrating the many universes of entertaining DC Comics material. Spot, of course, will be having a look at all 4 figures from this set, but I want to first start by having a look at Superman. So Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, we're going to get a better look at Superman. There's more anyway, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. How about the first thing that we have a look at is the build piece. I was going to say build a figure, but the build piece for the grapnel blaster. Not really much to be said, unfortunately. You've got the lower base, or part of the base that's going to connect to the rest of the display base, and then you've got part of the handle. It's just plastic. There's nothing really much to be said for it. The paint's a little shoddy, to be honest, on the handle. It could have been a little bit better. You've got like a wood grain finish to it, but there's a lot of areas where you can see like the paint just has been very lightly added. You can see a lot of stuff underneath. There's really no weight to it whatsoever. I would have liked if there was a way, and I don't think there's a way you can remove this from the display stand. Maybe there is. It looks like it might be a fix. Because if anything, they should have made it where you could remove the grapnel so you could at least walk around, you know, being able to role play with it. But we'll see kind of where things go with it. Of course, we only are looking at the first figure. There's going to be a lot other figures to come, and then we're going to also have to wait for figures 5 to 8. So in the meantime, we'll just put that to the side, and we'll see how things go with the other 3 figures when we have a look at them. Okay, so having a look at Superman. I don't know if I'm shooting this in or out of sequence, but Spot also had a look at the 6-inch, the regular figures that were released as well. I gotta say, first things first, I like that Superman has at least a plastic cape and not that ridiculous fruit roll-up cape that the other figure came with. Nice sculpted piece. I have absolutely no qualms whatsoever with the cape. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt that they put the fold of the cape always in between the legs. So you can't really move the legs too much. I mean, you can move them, obviously, but yeah, ultimately always seem to have the cape stuck in between the legs there. That's okay, though. The figure really does well for paint. One thing I wish I still had was the movie Masters Superman from the original Man of Steel. I really don't know what happened to that figure. I might have even given him away. This figure is definitely a step up from that, especially, like, again, just the paint. Suit's very nice. It's almost got a metallic coloring to it. The emblem also is a nice touch as well. This is a more subtle, slightly more subtle costume than before, except for, I guess, the exception that you've got now gold in the belt area. All the decorative details from original Man of Steel are now still present. The little swooshes on the sides of his torso, on his wrists, and also in the leg area. And we'll just move the cape out of the way so you can see some more of the details on the back. The cape looks like it just plugs into the back and is glued to the shoulders. As for the face, it's good. Would I say it looks spot on to Henry Cavill or Cavill? No, I would not. But I think for a lot of these figures, I think you can all agree when it comes to like DC Universe, DC Multiverse figures, they're inspired by. They're not 100% a perfect likeness. If you want a spot-on likeness, then you start looking in the route of like a Hot Toys. But for a 6-inch figure that's multi-posable, I got real no complaints with the face. Turned out nice. Again, paint. I have absolutely no issues with the paint. The blue eyes pop, although they kind of look a little more green than they do blue. He's got a little extra coloring on his lips. I mean, they really look like they spared no expense. Debatable, they really could have easily just given us these figures as opposed to the other figures as well, but I guess their marketing strategy is this is geared towards the collectors. The other figures are geared more towards the kids. Also a nice little touch is the texture that they've added to the suit, which also is a carryover from the Man of Steel. A little lining as well at the top of the boot that seems to carry over from the same coloring as his cape. Also really appreciate that. Peg holes on the undersides of his feet, though he does not come with a display stand. Display stand would be cool, but well, we've got the grapnel piece, so that's what we can take from this video. At least we've got the grapnel piece. As for Poseability, he is basically what you would expect from a DC Universe figure. He does have the ball joint head, which I guess you could kind of angle the Superman head up, which kind of helps to make it look a little more like Henry Cavill, as opposed to it just being straight on. Shoulders hinge forward, back, out. He's got a rotation in the bicep, bend in the elbow, just a single bend. Rotation in the wrists. He has no upper torso crunch, and likely it's due because they probably wanted to save costs on producing these figures and because they didn't want to break up the sculpt in the torso. But he does at least have still a straight swivel waist, legs go forward, back, and the very familiar DC Universe hinge. Some people like, some people don't like. He's got the mid-thigh crunch, or mid-thigh swivel, single hinge knee, single hinge foot. If you've collected at all the DC Universe figures, this Superman is basically the exact same articulation, less for the missing hinge in the torso. Do I like this figure? I do. Do I like this figure a lot more than the deluxe figure that we had to look at, or the basic figures that we had to look at before with the fruit roll-up cape? I do, yes. This Superman's a lot better. Although that Superman wasn't bad. You know what? I was going to say, I think I have... Hold on a second. I do actually have him. I forgot he was actually on my desk. There is the basic class figure, which, again, just has a really weird proportion to him. I think you can agree that the DC Universe or Multiverse Superman, this one right here, is a lot better. Right down to the cape. He just has these really large arms. Yeah, so I guess there's two different ways that you can get the Man of Steel. You can get him, or you know what? That's not true. There are smaller figures available as well of these guys. But I guess if you want the 6-inch variety, this one a little bit shorter, you can go this route, or you can go the DC Multiverse route. And to be honest, I think I would lean a little bit more towards this one than I would this one. Today's Toy Spot, we were first having a look in a series of reviews to follow. We're having a look at the new Superman, Batman v Superman Multiverse figures. We're looking today at Superman. And we got a handle for the grapnel gun. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. Thanks for watching, as you always do. I'll see you next time.